Good evening, everyone. I always get a laugh when I see that last little part in the video. Reminds me of really good fun stuff from Stuttgart from a little while ago, 2022. But first, hi to everyone. This is the second one already. Uh, it's really interesting. I never thought I would be doing this. I never thought I would be here again. And I never thought that I would be getting this positive feedback that I've gotten so far. Even people from Germany, because I guess that's where the larger following comes from right now. But I got some private messages from people that just noticed it. And I didn't like kind of like post anything about it or so. Just want to see how it kind of like goes organically, without any like promotion or advertisement on like Instagram or something like that. So here it is, Timeless Obsession, a podcast, soon to be live interview, whatever you kind of want to make out of it. The the options are endless. The opportunities are endless. Maybe today is going to be a little bit more of a serious one because the question that I the question that I have for some people when we dive deep into particular conversation. What are your passions? What are your hobbies? Why do you do what you do? And then the question is, why? The question really is, why? And what is that purpose? Why do you do what you do? Why do you have that hobby? Why do you have that passion? And the funny thing is, it's like, it could be something silly like, hey, I like collecting stamps. I like to watch movies. And then people go back into their, 9 to 5, their days. But I feel this is just my opinion. I feel a lot of things changed in the last couple of years from what I've noticed, the last 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. And I've spent most of my life, of my adult life, actually, all of it, spent it in America, in LA. Left my home when I was 17, left my parents all by myself, and they gave me a roof over my head over here. Had something to eat, and a little apartment, a room, bed, TV, and made sure that I could eat something. And at a certain point, I had to figure out how I would get all of that done. And I had a conversation with my dad today, and I always, even at a young age, I kind of like, I wanted to do something different. I like TV. I like entertainment. I like, you know, performing in front of people. I like to see people happy. I like to move people. So all of that kind of like it kind of blocked me over there in the Netherlands where I'm from originally. And I think that is maybe one of the drivers of what I'm doing here today. It's all stepping stones in our life. We don't know it yet, what's going to happen in our lives, but these are all parts. And at a certain point, this puzzle that's happening, our journey, that's kind of like, getting puzzled together, at a certain point starts to make sense. And one of the parts that made a lot of sense for me was about a year ago when we did a meet and greet in Stuttgart in Germany. This was for the Crypton machine crew. It's another little project that a good friend of mine and I started because I think it's important to have a conversation about cryptocurrency. That's not the situation today, though. It will eventually be a topic because there's also an obsession that I have in regards to crypto and the whole world surrounding that, and especially now with all the news and let's say Bitcoin going up again and flying off the roofs, going from 15K to over 44K. Like, these are big parts. Some people are like, oh, it's all a scam. Some people are like, it's the best thing that got invented. Well, that is kind of like where I try to be a little bit more away from this time. And I just want to hear from people why they're so into it, what their obsession is with it. And to go back to this, we created a little something, and at a certain point, there's 150 people that got together. And obviously, the goal, the idea is, or the start is, I'm going to show you guys a little something in a bit, a compilation video. But it started like nothing. Just go live and we start talking about stuff, what we think, what we like, what we feel, etc. And, some folks made money, some folks didn't make money, some folks they just listened, some folks are like deep diving into it. They started their own YouTube channels, they started their own like podcast and stuff like that. So, I think overall that's positive because I got to meet a whole lot of different type of people. Now, that evolved obviously, this started a couple of years ago. And, you were in lockdown, COVID times, and, what else are you going to do? So you try to be inventive, try to innovate yourself. So we started to script a machine crew. And suddenly I understood really when I got to Stuttgart, when I was in this fantastic hotel. We got this huge conference room, and the people did this. I didn't do this. Everyone put their own effort into it. It's like a meritocracy. So when people care and come together, you can move not only mountains, you can move worlds. So I'll play this little part for you. I'm going to fast forward a little bit as well. So you just get a little bit of an idea of what's going on and what happened, and then we'll continue to chat. Here, the still frame with everyone standing, and to me, this is just magical, first class. And I can't exactly explain it, but the gratitude that I have, the feeling, the passion that kind of came from this is indescribable. And from that moment on, I figured, all right, Dean, Dean the machine, you got to do something. You got to do a little bit more because it's not just about the show. It's not just about like celebrating myself. Like, oh, here comes this dude from America and he has a little bit of a following and we're just going to celebrate him. And he has this like 1 minute of fame. Uh, that's absolutely not what it's about. What it was about is when we took a break in that room full of 150 people, certain point, we had a little photo booth over there. I wanted to do like a little photo op. People are like, all right, let's take a few pictures. In the meantime, people can grab some drinks and stuff like that. The food before the buffet, everything was organized for them. People paid for it, but we got a great deal. It was awesome. I didn't get paid for this. We did this out of our own pocket, basically. So what happened from that photo booth session to me was like mind blowing. Still, more than a year later, the stories that I heard, everyone stood in line. Every single person wanted to take a picture. But it wasn't just taking a picture, no. It was to shake my hand and some of them to thank me for always being there, for always going live on Friday, for always saying something positive, for trying to share a little something of hope, motivation, and telling the people that everything's going to be okay. That there's always going to be light at the end of the tunnel, even in tough times. And when we started, it was tough times. We weren't allowed to go outside. There was lockdowns, especially in Germany. It was bad. And this is not about like, oh, I believe in this or I believe in that. No, not at all. Collectively, it was a shit time in the world. People weren't doing good. And I'm not talking about the physical. I'm talking about the mental. You can call it mental health. You can call it being deprived of social activities. Being social is one of the most important things in life. Relations, families, friends, get togethers. So, this was also one of those things that just recently before this event, Germany was allowed again to get a few people together. So, it was obviously one of those things where everything just magically kind of like it worked. But then to go back to that line of people standing there for the photo booth, snap a pic with me. I try to listen to everyone. And it was really important. I looked straight into their eyes. I couldn't take a second off. Why? Because you could feel everything, the pure, raw emotion, the pain, the suffering, the failure that some of them have experienced. I heard stories where people had thoughts of committing suicide, where people told me the story of having children with terminal illnesses, stories of failure, stories of being at rock bottom, addiction, and all of the above. And they told me, they're like, Dean, you helped me. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I was overwhelmed. For me, regular dude, to kind of get that type of, I don't even know what to call it, to get that kind of reaction or those kind of stories. But at that moment, I knew I'm a sponge. I take it all in, and I'm never going to stop doing this. Every single day, every week, every month, every year, no matter how, no matter what, I'm going to try to keep pushing forward. Right there. One of the best phrases: you learn more from failure than from success. Don't let it stop you. Failure builds character. And that was also true for me. And, after this event, that was fantastic. I felt very blessed to be able to do something like this. And I hope we're going to make many more of these events happen. I don't care if it's in Germany, if it's in LA, Amsterdam, Ibiza, etc. I hope some people can also make some solid money, maybe life-changing wealth. I don't know. If people are patient, everything will happen. It's not an excuse to be like, oh, you got to wait. No, because no one gets rich quick tomorrow. It takes effort, hard work, dedication, consistency. But not a lot of people are willing to do that. So that is something that I actually try to teach people on a daily basis. I coach them. We go over certain things for people regarding business or even in their personal lives. I'm open to really any kind of conversation, but I only know so much. I only have limited experience. And every day I experience something new, something different, something that adds up to this whole box of experiences. But I always try to share my 2 cents. And so far, some of the situation that I have been in have helped people. Why? Because there's nothing better than just being straightforward and honest. Because nowadays, in relationships, one of the biggest problems, people don't speak anymore to each other. We started living in this anti-social world of social media and everything associated with that. And things like tradition, they're gone. Anything of cultural or historic kind of significance, generational differences, it's not there anymore like it used to be. Also, Where are those uncles? Where are those nephews? Where are those cousins, brothers, sisters, parents, where you can just talk to and really ask them their opinion and not just go see your therapist for the first next thing? I'm not saying therapists are bad, not at all. I'm not saying your friends are bad to talk to, but I think the sanctity of family traditions is very, very important. And of course, not everyone is fortunate to have them. I know plenty of single moms or single dads, broken families, divorcees. It's horrible. But there's also friends that are better than family. I have some friends like that. I see them as my own family. I talk to them like brother, sister, nephews, cousins. It was an honor for me to become a godfather for one of my friends. I thought maybe I'll become the godfather to someone a little bit closer, directly related in blood, by blood. But no, actually, with my own family, with my own siblings, half siblings, there's no contact. That's a story for another time, but you'll get a kick out of this. I can tell you one thing: envy and jealousy will always end in failure. Stand above that. Don't envy anyone. Don't be jealous of anyone. Applaud their success. That's all I can say. But to go back to relationships and the people's why, these are one of the most important things, in my opinion, currently in the day and age that we live in. I wish I would be live right now to have some people maybe come in with certain kind of opinions, thoughts. I could ramble on about particular instances where mom and dad with their child, son or daughter, husband and wife, girlfriend, boyfriend, fiance, cherish what you have. Don't go to sleep in anger. Cherish what you have because you don't know if tomorrow is going to be given. It's a blessing. What happened that day was fantastic, was magical. And that really became the driver for Timeless Obsession. I can't explain it to you guys, and I can't like really see anything that I can compare it with. Because you can obviously tell that I'm slightly speechless in this situation. But my quest for this, for the future, is really to have people come join me in conversation. That people that watch this clip right now will go to bed tonight or stand up tomorrow morning and kind of like get better from my humble opinions about stuff, from trying to push men to become better men and women to become better women. None of this in between stuff. It's okay to speak your voice. Don't be afraid if you're going to offend someone. Rather speak truth. It's one of those Dutch sayings where it's like, truth takes the longest. But if you're going to keep talking too much shit, if you're going to try to keep spinning a story, at a certain point, you're going to catch yourself in a lie. And that isn't going to help. That isn't going to help anyone. In family relations, there's also a particular purpose. I have a particular purpose in life that I found just recently after 20, 30 years. I have an obsession. I have passion. I have ambition, but I also have found a particular purpose, which I didn't think I had before. Now, the purpose or the collective purpose in family, in relationships, is of the utmost importance. I think that spending that extra time together, especially in some of these busy lives that I notice. I live in LA and I meet people over here, and their lives, let me tell you, they're hectic. They're not slow paced. I don't care if it's 5 a.m., 6 a.m., 7 a.m. They're early risers. And some of them don't come home until after 6 7 or 8 p.m. Some of them are even at the office, 10 or 11. And they maybe just see their sons or daughters for a second sleeping at night, fix the blankets over them, and, before they even wake up, they're already out the door. I think one of the most important things that I started doing for myself, because I can only speak from my experience. I don't have kids, so I can only tell you what I see or hear in other experiences. But let's say for my direct relation with my wife, date nights, take your time. Take yourself out of that whole busy life and just the two of you. The phone, put it away, turn it off. For us, it's a gym date night. And sometimes it's a nice dinner. And sometimes, yeah, it's just at home. But really make an effort into it. A lot of people, they just neglect it. A lot of people, they're like, oh, yeah, date night. We watch Netflix together. No. Before you know, you're on your phone, you're looking at memes, and the night is over. And is that the last moment you want to spend with your loved one if tomorrow is not granted? These are moments or these are situations that I think, would you have regret if this is the last moment together? Would you have regret if that was the last conversation that you had or communication that you had together? Once I started asking people this question, and once I started asking myself that question and trying to come up with particular answers and hearing answers from other people, things changed. Things really changed. People started becoming more aware and aware and aware. And it's all about self awareness. It's all about people's awareness surrounding you. But what can you do as a partner, as a friend, as a family member, maybe even as a stranger? Just listen. Listen to each other. People want to be heard. People want to tell you what's going on. Otherwise, they wouldn't go see someone and pay them to be heard. Be an actual friend. You're going to do more good than you might even realize. I think listening is one of the most important things. Listening to your loved one. And sometimes it can just be like listening and, okay, let someone else speak something out. And sometimes the situation arises where the most important thing is just your opinion, the opinion of the listener. I've experienced situations like that myself. Relations are not easy, no matter if it's with your wife, with your loved one, your family, your friend, no matter who. Again, it goes back to being honest. But once you have a proper flow, you'll know when you're vibing the right way, when you're communicating the right way, when this communication is just flowing back and forth and you're on the same wavelength and you're respecting each other for your thoughts, your opinion, even when you have a difference of opinion. Today was a beautiful day where I was just like, why do people suddenly act very, very strange or pretend like they don't know you because you were talking about a particular topic with someone else and they don't like that topic or they frown upon that topic? Who are they to decide what you can speak or can't speak about? Everyone is free to their own opinion. And especially when you think about the First Amendment, the freedom of speech, people can say and do whatever they want. Of course, don't hurt anyone, try not to offend anyone. Be truthful, be straightforward. If there's anything particular that you guys have questions about, I would love to discuss it. If you guys have any opinions about anything that I've just said in the last 20, 25 minutes, please, I want to hear it. To me, the opportunity that I have here and that I'm trying to create over here too for other people, I don't care if it's 5, if it's 1, or if it's 1,000, a million. I don't care about the quantity. I care about the quality of conversation. I care about changing, as silly as it sounds sometimes, but this is a big phrase. I genuinely care about changing people's lives for the better, for the good. And when it comes down to it, there's one thing over here that I have, and it says dream big. All your dreams can come true if we have the courage to pursue them. And let me tell you one thing. I've been put in this world for a bunch of different things, and I've lived well so far. But now I can tell you one thing. I've had big dreams, and those big dreams brought me to LA. I've outdreamt a lot of kids that I went to school with. I can tell you that. But that dream that I have became even bigger after certain events. And I can tell you a little piece about that dream, but it sounds a little bit like I want to change the world. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think. Leave a comment behind. This was Timeless Obsession, part 2. Good night.